Alright, Bennett, the Pyro Archon. There's no debate on how he's so great, but he carries so much weight because his cruel fate is even worse than my crit rate. Actually, that's not true. What the fuck is this, guys? What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? So yeah, Bennett, one of the most requested characters for me to make a video on because I trolled people on April Fools, and I also didn't think people needed me to make a video on Bennett. As of this time, I'm going to do a poll on YouTube for Ito, Goro, and Mr. Benny Boy, and I'll bet my left nutsack that my community will vote for Bennett no matter how many people are hyped for Ito. So yeah, you guys. Just kidding, I love you guys. I know it's really late, but thank you all for the 100k subs. I cannot appreciate you guys enough. So I did give you guys the opportunity to me over because I know you guys will. But on with the video. Starting with his elemental abilities. Elemental skill, 1 out of 3 Diluc E. Benny Boy can either activate this quickly or he can hold it as if he's about to go full Genji mode. When you press it, Bennett gains 2 particles, and when you hold it, he gains 3. Normally, I wouldn't recommend holding it because the cooldown is extended and you only get 1 extra energy particle for it. But since Bennett doesn't receive a lot of particles in the first place, this is why people stack energy recharge on Bennett or give him a energy recharge weapon.
Wow, I bet you didn't know that.
Also, if he holds this within his burst, he doesn't bounce back and potentially get into an accident. Like this video. Elemental burst. Leave a like and subscribe because you guys made me go through this bullshit. In short, we call this the Bennett slams down, then creates a huge AoE. Within this AoE, based on your HP, you heal or get some good attack boost.
Wow, I bet you didn't know that either.
Moving on to passive talents. Passive 1, your cooldown is reduced by 20%. Passive 2, when your Bennett is within the his cooldown is reduced by 50% and he won't hurt himself with his own ability. Passive 3, 25% less expedition time. Yahoo! Actually useful passive 3. Alright, story time. Once upon a time, there was an old adventurer who went through a dangerous journey seeking for treasure, but when he got to the end of his journey, he instead found a baby. He thought no living creature could manage to get to his position, but there was a baby. At that moment, he knew this baby was abandoned not only by his parents, but by the world itself. So the old man decided to bring this baby back home with him, but unfortunately, before he could tell anyone about his journey, he was on his deathbed, leaving behind a few words: will, adventure, and final treasure. Also, the baby was Bennett. Moving on to Constellations. Constellation 1, your attack buff no longer has a restriction and will buff you more. Constellation 2, when your Bennett's HP falls below 70%, his energy recharge goes up. Constellation 3, Diluc's E gets stronger. Constellation 4, no one cares. Constellation 5, more buff from the C6, don't get it. Moving on to artifacts. For beginners, I guess get exiles. For endgame, this is going to be a very difficult process because this piece is really complicated. You know, it's a really complicated piece set. So I'm still having a difficult time understanding this piece set even after a year because the description for this is so much longer than the new gimmick piece sets. But to summarize, you need to use 4-piece noblesse. Yeah, that's it. For primary stats, people actually misunderstand what they need here most of the time, so let me make this very simple. The attack-related stats from any of your artifacts do not affect the buff Bennett provides with his So if you have an attack on your Hourglass, Goblet, or Circlet, it does not increase your buff. The only thing that affects your Bennett's buff is the weapon base attack and Bennett's own base attack. So naturally, if you want to maximize the buff, you would want to level Bennett and your weapon to the max level. For substats, the more valuable stats for you is energy recharge and HP, so you can spam the buff and heal as much as you can, and this also applies to your primary stats as well. And that's all you have to do. Probably could have found that like a year ago, but whatever. Moving on to weapons, I'm not going to list all the weapons here. You do want to prioritize on base attack as much as you can, and you would probably want energy recharge related weapons. Notably for the 5 stars, the only energy recharge sword is Skyward Blade. This is probably the best for Bennett's kit. However, there are other weapons with the higher base attack, so if you want to prioritize on your buffing, then you would probably want to get that. But if you don't really care, then I would suggest you to get a 4-star energy recharge weapon, but you can also get energy recharge on your artifacts, so I guess it really depends on what you need or want. So I'll list the 4-star weapons that I would personally use, most of the people use for Bennett. So starting with the Festering Desire. This sword is no longer available, but if you do have this, then you probably should use this sword on Bennett. It has a higher base attack compared to the other energy recharge related swords, Favonius and Sacrificial, and it still gives a decent amount of energy recharge, but again, no longer obtainable. So you would probably want to look at these 3 swords: Favonius, Sacrificial, and then Alley Flash. So Favonius and Sacrificial is a no-brainer. They both have the same exact stat. The only difference is the ability. These abilities both gives you extra energy. Favonius requires you to crit, and the Sacrificial is for Xingqiu. Now lastly, we have the Alley Flash. Why would I recommend this weapon? This weapon has a really high base attack of 620, which is higher than the Skyward Blade as a 5-star weapon. So if you only care about the buffing and have around 160 to 200-ish energy recharge, then you can probably go for this, no problem. Moving on to teams. Bennett is the most commonly used character in the Abyss for a reason, guys. He works with everyone. Everyone. This is common knowledge. You know this. So how the do you play Bennett? You know this. You know how to play Bennett. Spam E, spam Q, unga bunga. Why do you even need a guy for this? Oompa Loompas, goddamn, I'm not wasting my Geo investment, Mora, Heroes Wit Crystals, this fuckly ass snake wolf thing that I farmed for like 2 weeks, and then But that's it for the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitch. I'm probably gonna draw good stuff. Also follow me on Twitter. I'm probably gonna upload good stuff. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.